Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm bringing you a bit of a book haul, so let's get into it. So firstly, I got some money sent to me from my mum and I picked up two books. So I picked up Hazelthorn by C.G Drews. I did read Don't Let the Forest In and absolutely love that book, so I do hope that I will love Hazelthorn as well, so that's why I picked it up. And the last book I got with my money from my mum is Angel Down by Daniel Kraus. I am so intrigued to get to read this book because I loved Whalefall by this author, and I knew that I had to pick this book up as soon as it was released. This is a war story and I don't really enjoy war-based things, so I don't really know how well this is going to go down, but I am intrigued and I feel like I can get around the war side of things, hopefully, but we'll see whenever I do get to this book. I got a voucher from my friend for Christmas, and I picked up a book that is something I've been thinking about for a little while, and I didn't want to pick it up because it does say a love story in the title, but it does scream very dark as well, so I picked it up anyway and I hope that I love it. It is Anatomy, a love story by Dana Schwartz. This is set in Edinburgh in 1817 and it's a gothic tale full of mystery and romance. I don't really know how I'm going to get along with this story because I'm not a big romance reader, but I love stories set in Edinburgh that have a focus around like the medical field. And she wants to become a surgeon, but obviously back in the day a woman couldn't become a surgeon, and so she kind of steals bodies to practice on. I cannot wait to read this book. I think I'm going to save this one for February and see how I get along with it. But yes, this was from my friend, so thank you for the Christmas gift. I have my fingers crossed that I am going to love this book. Next are a set of books that my boyfriend got for me. They're all books that I picked because he said that I would have some money to just go to the bookstore, pick my books, he'd wrap them for Christmas and I would just unwrap them even though I already know what they are. So yeah, we've got a bit of a stack here, so I'm so thankful for that because these are books that I've been meaning to pick up and books that I've wanted to read. The first one is The Starving Saints by Starling. I love this cover. This is a religious horror. I don't know if you would remember, but I put up my New York book haul in a short form, so I will maybe link that if you haven't seen my shorts. And I got a lot of religious horror books, and I did say that I was going to do a religious reading vlog, and I remembered that The Starving Saints was a book that was on my anticipated lists, and that is also a religious horror story, so I thought I would pick it up. I've heard some people really like this and some people really dislike this book, but I'm hoping I'm going to be the one who really likes this story because I am really loving the historical horror side of things. It's not only a historical story, but it is a weird read and it is centered around cannibalism. So need I say any more? This is literally like me in a book. So excited to read this one. And then we have a book that he picked because I feel like I shouldn't be picking all of these books, so I gave him a choice and he picked The King's Witches by Kate Foster. Mainly this is because it's set in a historical setting of Edinburgh. So this is set in Edinburgh in 1589 when Princess Anna of Denmark is set to wed King James the fifth of Scotland. I'm really bad with Roman numerals and I read the title, seen it was set in a historical setting in Edinburgh, where I currently live, and it's about witchcraft. Need I say any more? Need I say any more? I'm really excited. It's also listed as a horror story, so I didn't realize that when I picked it up. So I'm really excited to delve into this. Next, we have another book I've been wanting to get my hands on, and it wasn't released in the UK for ages, but now it is, and that's Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. This is a story about a family set on a remote island. A mysterious woman is washed ashore and a storm is gathering force. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, which is why I wanted to get my hands on it, and I'm so excited to read this in 2026. I already know I'm going to read it in 2026. It's a book that I've been highly anticipating, and I'm so excited to finally have this in my hands. Next is another book. I mean, I've been wanting to read all of these, so I don't know why I keep saying that, but it's a book from Nick Cutter. I read The Troop a few years ago and was just immediately hooked on this guy's writing, so I wanted to get my hands on The Deep by Nick Cutter. I've heard that this is more terrifying than The Troop, and so why the hell not? Why would I not read this? I am afraid of the water, and I feel like this is going to terrify me. And I do believe that it is, yeah, 8 miles below the sea surface. So this one is going to have me very anxious, and I'm so excited to read this book. Next, we have a folk story that I've been wanting to pick out for ages, and that is Lost in the Garden by Adam S. Leslie. I haven't read this synopsis, but I knew it was a folk story, and I was talking about loving certain folk stories. I was sharing my thoughts on my favourite folk stories, and someone mentioned, have you read Lost in the Garden? And I hadn't, but I looked it up and it said that it was another folk story that has won awards. Yeah, it won the Nero Book Awards in 2024. And I was just like, yeah, I need to get my hands on this. The little quote at the top says, like an old wives' tale, like a piece of wisdom passed down through generations, which no one questioned or even thought about too hard, like folklore. It was just something everybody knew, a rule to be followed. Don't go to Almambi. I don't really know. We'll figure out how to pronounce that. So, yes, cannot wait to read this. Next is a book I've already read, but I wanted to get the paperback version because I have the paperback of the first book, and then they started making them in hardback, which just annoyed me. But finally they have a paperback version of the second book, and it's What Feasts at Night. This is the second book in the Sworn Soldier series. I've read What Moves the Dead and this book, but I haven't read What Stalks the Deep. I think that's what it's called. Because it is in hardback, so I haven't gotten a copy of that yet. And I want to reread them. So when the third one comes out in paperback, which I believe will be at the end of 2026, I will reread the series because they are tiny, and I will read all of them together. But I wanted to get the paperback version because that's what my other copy is in. The next book is A Blood as Bright as the Moon by Andrea Morstabilini. I hope that's how you pronounce that name. So this is a new sort of take on the vampire trope, and I've been reading a lot of vampires recently and really loving them, so I wanted to get this book. It was released in 2025. I'm super excited to read this book. And finally, the last book I have to haul for you is Intercepts by T.J. Payne. I've wanted to read this book for a while. It's kind of like a sci-fi horror story. It's about human experiments, and one of them comes home with the person who worked at the facility. I have heard such incredible things about this story, and sci-fi horror isn't one I dabble in a lot, so I wanted to get this to kind of like dip my toes in to sci-fi horror and see what it's like, because I want to expand my reading tastes, see if this is something that I will love, and if it is, kind of explore some more sci-fi horror. This cover is so scary and has me very intrigued. I'm very much looking forward to reading this and all of my other books that I have hauled for you today. These are all of my new books. So excited to read every single one of these, and I feel so lucky to have been able to get these and have people who know that I enjoy reading. I have already said thank you to everybody involved in this haul. I am very grateful, and yeah, I'm probably not going to be buying a lot of new books in 2026, but we'll see how well that lasts. I have cancelled my Abominable box, so you won't be seeing that on my channel anymore, and I have only kept my Evernight, which is quarterly, but we may be dabbling into some other ones, but we'll see what happens. But currently I'm not planning on buying a lot of new books in 2026, but I guess we'll see how long that lasts, because there are so many great books being released in 2026, and you get FOMO if you don't have them or you don't read them. But thank you so much for watching this book haul. I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of these books, which ones you would suggest me picking up first. And I guess I will just end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Do stick around for more bookish content, and I will catch you in the next one. But until then, keep your pages turning and embrace the darkness. Bye!